Good morning, my neighbors. Welcome to another episode of BYTTT Trading Floor Edition. I appreciate everyone that likes, subscribe, and hit the bell button because by all means, if it wasn't for you, I probably wouldn't do it in the first place. So let's go ahead and get to it because I got a lot of work and I'm tardy to the party. All right, so let's go ahead and get this done. Let's get these charts out the way, get them all out the way. Whoa, what just happened? No, thank you. Bye-bye. All right, let's go ahead and get all these drawings. Boom, boom, boom. All right, look at NQ. It is doing some funky stuff. So now we got some jobs reports that came in. Let me go ahead and grab those things. Where did I put it? Do I have to start a new one? I might have to start a new one. Yep, I got rid of it somehow. All right, let's go ahead. Jobs report. So the jobs report came in a little spicy, just a little bit, and it looks like everybody is, it's a little rough around the edges, right? So initial jobless claims came in where it looks like more people are doing a little bit worse, right? We're talking about continuous jobless claim increase past consensus. Now, they thought it was going to go up, but they did not think it was going to go up that much. Again, jobless claim average is going up. Initial jobless claims is increased. All right, I'm back to my audio issues. My M audio. Listen, M audio. Me and you are not going to be friends if you keep on having these issues. But I will go ahead and look up whatever is causing it this weekend because I thought it was my PC. I don't reset a lot. I did that, and it's still giving issues. So yeah, it's an M audio thing. It's not a me thing. But yeah, so we had jobless claims. Jobless claims came in, and it came in a little spicy. So it looks like we are, and mind you, this thing is like killing my time, right? It is killing it. So it came in a little spicy. Where are we? Reopen, close tab, boom, boom, boom. So we're looking at continuous jobless claim increase. Jobless claims average on a 4-week basis increase. Initial jobless claim increase. All past consensus. So this is telling us that we're getting a weaker dollar. Now here's the fun part about it. Why are we getting CPI and inflation data that is coming in a little bit spicy when they thought it was going to go down? Isn't it why the Fed did the cuts in the first place? Listen, I'm not saying the Fed always gets it right, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, this information does not bode well for the fact that they gave a very massive price cut, and then that's supposed to be going to be driving inflation even more higher. So that's going to be a whole nother conversation. So let's go ahead and get into the chart. We got only 7 minutes. So we got NQ. NQ looks like this right now, and I do like the little bit of a pullback. It looks like it's going to be tweets at the top. The question is, this is the trend line that all the bulls are buying at. That's the line. This thing is super, super strong for my intraday traders. Now, when we're talking about our longer term traders, they're like, oh, Jeff, listen, we chilling. This is what we're looking at right there. So if we're talking about our shorter term traders are the ones that's probably driving a lot of this upside, there is a possibility that this bottom right here, this pivot here, is probably going to give out sometime in the near future, especially if we cannot get past this level. Now, we do have order blocks that we are at pretty much attacking. I think I had boxed this out the last time. Let me go ahead and box it out again. I think this was it. Maybe a little bit lower. Probably I did a previous day. This area right here is a very, very point of concern because they have to get through this area to go ahead and attack this high and get up into that 2100. Now for my W lovers, all right, the W is still in play, right? Because we got this nice little W here. We have our extension here. Always take the short side, throw some fibs on it. And this is my Fibonacci right here. Boom. And boom. So you're talking about 50% of the move will bring us to here. at 2847.75. So that's going to be a little interesting. Thank you.
Okay.
Right. So that's the question mark. That is the question mark in itself, trying to figure that out. So that said, do not just play the W for the full measure move, even though the full measure move will bring us above 21.8. Let's go ahead and speed this up. Good morning. Good morning. I appreciate you chiming in. All right, so we got CL. I know it looks like complete spaghetti rice because CL has been all over the place. But if we look at this, remember that order block I told you was going to have a tough area? We did reject off of it. We broke through. Here's your retest. And now we're back at the top of it. Now, here's the question that you have to have for CL. Are we going to go ahead and retest this area? We cannot move this uptrend at all until it makes a higher high. It has to get rid of this pivot here, so that way we can know that this lower pivot is our friend. We want to see what happens there. So CL, very interesting spot because it's breaking out of the downtrend line that we broke back below just recently, and I would love to see if CL can hold that up. All right, don't have a lot of time. Let's go ahead and get into gold. Here is gold. Now gold, again, I told y'all this, 2700, tough area, psychological area, and we came all the way back down to this level. This is one of the levels I had marked off a while back with the 2632. I am very curious. Again, we got contract expiration. Where is that contract expiration date? There it is. This contract expiration, 2400. We never rebalance that area around 2400. Could this be a election run up, and as soon as the election's over we pull back? Well, if we keep on putting these topping patterns on the daily, eventually the bull's going to be too scared to try to play this up. So we'll see what happens there. Let's keep this going. We got silver. Again, I tell y'all, chart out silver. Silver tells you a lot. Silver is trying to hold itself at that 50 EMA. If this holds, it's going to power up gold with it. So even if you don't trade silver, still chart silver. All right, this is the British pound. British pound looks like it's tied to the downside. Now, I like this chart though. Now that I'm seeing this, it almost looks like we may, especially if this turns into the reversal that it looks like right now, we may come into a head and then shoulder probably back here and then drop. And that will probably put some weight into the market because then that'll strengthen the dollar. And remember this picture because you're going to see the inverse in a few seconds. All right, let's go ahead and keep this going. We got ES. ES kind of came in, got some new highs and everything else. It's going to attract some bulls here, especially taking these new highs. We could go back weekly, monthly. These are brand spanking, astronomical new highs. Just don't know when they're going to take profits. Maybe they continue to the upside. I don't want to sound like a bear, but eventually somehow they got to be some type of healthy pullback. And small caps. Remember what I told you about the small caps? The money got to come from somewhere. So could they be bouncing in and out of small caps with the ES? Possibly. And now that the ES is actually pulling up and pushing up, could they be trying to get the Russell to break it down and probably go into its fair value gap into like 21.4? That would be very interesting. So we'll see what happens there. And then the last, here is the dollar. And this is why I was saying this looks interesting. That dollar on the daily looks like a reversal, right? It looks like it's going to be coming down. If it comes down, that's going to be bullish for the market. So that said, we're talking about, is this an inverse? Very ugly head and shoulder with my old technique here. And does that would be like an inverse head and shoulder. So that means what is going on with the British pound, we may get one of those dwarf star moments I like to call, right? Where out of nowhere, the market does this rally. It looks really, really good, just like a dwarf star. It starts to expand and it just gets bigger, bigger, and bigger, and then it just does this explosion and it just drops. This will be in line with after the election if you kind of put it together. So I think there's going to be a drop in the dollar. We're probably going to get another bullish run. We're probably going to get a little bit of a push up. Just be cognizant of your setups. We got 60 seconds until the market opens, and then we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and get back over to NQ. Hold on, just got to work text. Boom. Ooh, really? This is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to look at that a little bit. All right, let's go ahead and look at the NQ. So NQ, we got ourselves the first 15 minutes. If you have not been on my floor before, by all means, I'm a very simple trader because I try to keep it simple for y'all, so that way y'all don't do anything relatively reckless. Why am I in CL? Oh, I changed it to CL by accident. All right, so what I want to see is a opening range breakout. A very simple strategy, very easy to follow. So if you want to follow with paper trade, by all means you can as well. We are going to look at the first 15 minutes of the market. It's going to establish itself, and the breakout above or below it is what's going to determine how we're going to trade the next 5 minutes after it breaks. So that said, let's go ahead and see what the chart has for us. All right, so we got the first 15 minutes. So kind of early, of course, because we only got 1 minute in. So we're just going to get our lines out there. So we got our first part. We'll be bullish above that line, and we will be bearish below this line. So we will be bullish above here. We'll be bearish below there. Very nice and simple, and we'll adjust accordingly as we go through. Let me go get my list, because now that the jobs report is here, I could imagine my screen is probably lighting all the way up. Let's see. Well, let me do a reset myself. Let's go reset. I got Pepsi. I don't know, Crown Castle, and I think Pepsi and Pinduoduo is doing some very interesting things. Ooh, I haven't seen Diddy in a long time. I don't know. Oh, Chemical. So we got CCJ. Let's go to CCJ. Let's do something fun over here. Let's see CCJ. If you don't know who CCJ is, they do a lot of that nuclear uranium stuff and everything else. This one, I kind of felt like I let this slide kind of like Home Depot, because I did play this to the downside, but I never thought the reversal would happen. I thought it was just retracement and it's going to come back down roughly around here. I think I kind of gave up on it. Nice little gap up, and this thing looks like a W, especially when we broke this pivot. So this one looks really, really, really good for more upside with a little bit of a retracement. So I'm thinking maybe a bull flag breakout, something along the lines of that. Let's see what the oscillators are saying. Yeah, because we're in a bullish state here. Maybe get a reset of stochastic, catch some support, maybe a support above here. If it holds above 47, we're going to attack 50 and probably come up to like 56 again, that new high. All right, that's CCJ, especially that the volume is kicking up recently too. That looks interesting. Pepsi, let's go look at Pepsi. The competitor Coca-Cola. Sometimes this thing can make some movements. I do like this. It looks like we're about to make ourselves a higher high here. This is probably going to be the range that you're going to want to reject from, and this is probably the range that you're going to want to buy from. Hence the reason why we're kind of wedging. So I would not. Yeah, you see how the stochastic's pointing in the MACD? That looks really, really good. All right, that's it. Those are the two I'm probably going to keep an eye out for today. Let's go back over to NQ. Let's see what they got for us. The first 15 minutes. What are we doing over here, NQ? All right, so we got our high. Our high is 2390. That's what we just rejected from. Got a nice little fair value gap here. If you don't know what fair value gaps are, I'll just go ahead and highlight it for y'all. Something like that, with a dat and a dat. So that looks really, 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 really good. Maybe they get to the center pivot and get rejected again. We'll see. We will see. Let's see what's going on with oil. Oil, what you got for us? All right. You been looking at that one? Which one? Pepsi or CCJ? Let's see. Oil. It looks like I might be right. I think what we did on the daily here, I think this was the first shot of them trying to dump this down, and they're having a hard time holding it down. This doji could be a reversal and turns right into a morning star. Yeah, CCJ is a really, really, really good company. It moves well, and the price point is not too bad. So a lot of day traders are attracted to that one. I do suggest keeping an eye on that one. So this could actually, it could be a whole energy play too. Actually, you know what? Now that I just looked at oil, let's go look at ZOM. What is going on with ZOM right now? If you don't know ZOM, that is XOM. Okay. Kind of get a little bit of a pullback. Let me see what the weekly looks like. All right, so if we can establish the fair value gap and hold this level of support roughly around 120, let's see how the week ends. You may get a couple of green candles because it looks like our resistance is right here, but the buyers are buying up the dip here. So it could be an energy play as a whole. Let's see if it's going to. Oh, absolutely. Actually, add ZOM to your watch list too. And let me go ahead and do something fun for y'all. I do have a list of everything that's XLE right here. Probably gonna have to update it because like PDX got removed from the list. Let us go with. No, I want to go more expensive. Chevron MPC. Let's go MPC. That's consolidation. That's Marathon Petroleum. Hold on, I had to do this. That is Marathon Petroleum. It's trying to find a way to get out. Thought it was going to break out the wedge, but then and that's the funny thing about the market sometimes. The market sometimes will have this thing where it breaks out the bottom, and then the bottom is finding the support at the base of that wedge itself. And you can kind of see that here, right around this area here, and it kind of pushed up. I'm shocked that it didn't stay up because normally when I see that, that's usually that liquidation sweep and goes up. But you can kind of see this depth cross is really holding on tight. So I'm curious, can this thing stay above 158, roughly about right here? Then CVX, this is on my green list. This one looks, because we're playing between the 250, so it can get a little choppy here. 150 is probably what they want to hold up, using 147 as support and that 50 EMA. If we could get ourselves a nice little explosion here, this could be a very ugly inverse head and shoulder, and that would mean the measure move is the head. So you're talking about something along the lines of that. So I would say maybe 158 if this thing can hold support. Maybe a stop of 147 and take to 157. It's probably the play. Probably the play. All right, let's go ahead and get back over to NQ. What you got for us? 15 minutes. Do you have any trades for us? Still kind of consolidating. Didn't have to adjust my line. It looks like it's sitting right there. That said, let me go ahead and make sure I'm logged into everything. I know I am logged in to my Thinkorswim, which my Celsius finally recovered. Oh, so here's another one that's making me mad. Let me go ahead and pull this up. Celsius, if you don't know who they are, they're the competition to Red Bull in itself, and they made me really, really mad. I thought we was going to hold a support roughly around this area, but they decided to put in a bullish divergence roughly around here. You can kind of see the MACD has not really taken any strikes to the downside in itself. So I'm very curious on what it's going to do. Maybe they're waiting for the earnings report so that way they could go ahead and either butcher it and skewer it or continue to this upside. I want to see this thing get to $52, and they did kind of sweep under 30, which was the shocker to me. And yeah, September, yeah, this was my level I was looking for, but I was looking for it to hold this area here. And then when they try to do this one, I try to hold this area here. And they just keep on liquidating. So if you ever are curious what trend you're on and you're doing the wrong things, especially if you're trying to time a bottom, this right here, that's liquidation. And then here's your next trend. They're putting in a micro trend because it takes a micro trend to beat a major trend. Liquidate here. And then now we got a brand new micro trend here. And I got some promise. So could this be the bottom? Maybe, but we'll find out. All right, let's go ahead and get back over to NQ. We got ourselves like about 6 minutes until this thing gives us our first 15 minutes, and we got to figure out what are you trying to do, NQ. Still consolidating. It's getting a little tight. That is like a soda bottle that's ready to pop. see if we can find something else. Let's go over to gold. Let's see what gold's doing. Nice little setup. It looks like we're trying to find a base after. Let me take out this super trend so that way we can see it a little bit better. So the news came in and made a drop, and it looks like we're going to hold gold here. That's going to put some pressure on the dollar. So I think this candle, this candle's going to try to take out some of these highs because they're trying to get back down there, and it looks like they can't. So let's see what can happen here. Can we get a nice little push and an exit out here and then start to really push out of that box? That's going to make things fun. You know what? For giggles, because I haven't done it, I want to get rid of all my gold drawings. Let's do opening range breakout on gold. I'll paper trade it because I don't do it with that. I don't know how it relatively moves, but with all things being equal, I'm gonna just do the same thing, 15 minutes and a 5 minute. Let's see if it actually works out. So that said, we will be bullish above this level, which is trying to break out at now, and we'll be bearish below that level. And we got like a few minutes, we'll come back to that, and we're gonna go over the NQ. So we're just gonna visualize and see, I don't know, let's see how gold operates with the opening range breakout. Probably give us a good move, especially the way they bounce off that bottom. All right, let me go check on my green list, see if I can get some swings. Meta's making me mad. Meta. Now, what I expected from Meta was for it to come back and retest some of these areas, especially we're in a flat state here with this super trend here. I really wanted to kind of like test this area, maybe about 568, but they bought up the dip very hard here, so I think this fair value gap is very valid, and there's probably some buyers that's sitting waiting for an opportunity to buy it back up on that level, especially how the stochastic is almost at that oversold or lower register, however you want to call it. So there's a possibility we could get a nice little bounce off of here. But again, that CPI data being spicy like that, and then that jobs report coming in conflicted, that can make this thing do a lot of volatility. So just be smart with it. Analysts raise price targets for Meta platforms. This is today. Looks like they raised it to 655. I know them. Truist is 650 and Raymond James 650, maintaining positive rating. Okay, if you're aiming for 650 and that we're selling the news, I still see this nice little bearish divergence on the histogram, not the oscillator, but on the histogram. So I'm very curious on how they're gonna play this, knowing that they just released some news saying 650. People that want that 650, you're gonna look for the best discount possible, probably even $100 move. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go to NQ. What you got for us, NQ? Still inside of it. Still inside of it. And then gold, our experiment for today. All right, got up to that level. Gold, I'm gonna go ahead. I think 3. Let's make it 4. I'll do 4 contracts just to kind of average it down and make it halfway for my paper trade. I don't trade a lot of gold. And that said, let me make sure let me log myself out of this one and get myself prepared in the event I decide to take a trade. So yesterday after we were done, I took a couple of trades, lost $100, so I finished with like 500. But I'm still thinking that the market is going to give me what I'm looking for. I got a few more days to get this thing funded, so it's going to be fun. All right, 9 seconds. Let's see. NQ, what are you doing? It's finishing green. Dollar is trying to rally. So let's see. Let me give myself Completely ready. All right. Oh, that's why my caps was on. Okay, got that. That's ready. And then let's go ahead and get you ready. Is that thing moving? No, it's not moving. Yeah, they've been toying with my. I have a position on pizza. This thing is doing all types of funky stuff sitting on top of an order block, so it's being very tricky, especially with this trend line. If this thing breaks this trend line, I gotta exit that position. It is what it is. It is what it is. All right, back to NQ. So right now we established our high and low. I'm looking for the 5 minute to make a decision and close above or below a position. So we're gonna find out which side it is going to pick. All right, still inside of that box. We'll come back to it. Let's go to gold. It's still inside of its box. We'll come back to it. Let's look at oil. Lots of consolidation. Lots and lots of consolidation. Now, yesterday was very interesting, right? Because I basically was almost about to give up in the market, and I kind of said, yeah, it looks like we're probably not going to end the day. So I'm actually working on a short right now. And remember, I kind of did like 3 or 4 paper trades, and it was like, wrong, wrong. Because I was looking at possible reversals. Oh, there we go. We get a little bit of poke through. And the real trade was the opening breakout because I had a thesis of being bullish. So I was able to lock in $600 there. The crazy thing about it, it actually went out for a lot more. But because I play with such a size, it's get my money and get out, right? So that's how I kind of trade, and yeah, that's that was the party. That was fun, and you know how it goes. You only can take what the chart gives you. So now I'm looking for it to close below this level so we can properly have. So let's see if we can get that close in itself. Got a minute left. If I was going to go with it, I would be looking for $486. 486 is probably the number I'm probably going to look for in puts. Let's put that there. So 486 today. That was interesting. That volatility kind of dissipated, changing up the premium price real fast. All right, so let's see if we can find ourselves a relative entry. Looks like we might get it here. No, it didn't. Oh, wow. Yeah, that kind of took a lot out of that. Good thing I went with one contract. Wow, that was not a good setup. This thing just retraced it. It should have did a continuation because it's such a massive move, but look like they're coming out after that fair value gap in itself. Oh, hold on for a second. Yeah, that pullback was a little violent. That took about $300. That sucked. I was about to get into some options with it too, but you could kind of see. You see how that 5 minute just came all the way. Trying to figure out what it. That was a little violent of a pullback. All right, just be patient, folks. Let's see. Let's see what the gold did with theirs. Gold's doing a breakout of that. Give it a second shot here. Oh wow. Jeez. We can't even get a rejection of the bottom of the base. They really bought up that dip here. They're kind of treating this as a tweezer bottom. So I only give 2 shots when it comes down to something like that, and they pretty much got my money from yesterday, which is roughly about $600. So yeah, they're really are trying to push this thing back up. Could be the fact that gold is putting pressure on the dollar that's making the dollar drop, even though we broke out of the bottom of the bearish state. I had to give it another shot just to see if this is. Normally I don't do a third shot, but I'm still buying up the dips. I need to get that. I was gonna say need to get that buy side liquidity, but it did not. How much time we have? 27 seconds. Yeah, they pushed it right back inside of it. Damn, that sucks. Wow. All right. Not every day is going to be a W. So let me go ahead and put my P&L on here so that way I can see the facts. I do not shy away from the truth. Yeah, this is what I. Oh, it changed my screen. Hold on. Gotta fix the screen. So what I do, I risk roughly about $200 to $300. Just depends on what my comfort level or how I see the setup. But you could kind of see we came out to a bearish state. So they were supposed to play this down to the downside, and they bought up every dip, and now we're about to go through the top side of it. So very, very interesting on how they just did that, especially that we rejected the fair value gap. That's the reason why I kind of was a little bit more gun ho to the downside. But yeah, about $800. I'll get it back. Lightweight. All right, so if you were following on paper trade, by all means, you could kind of see not all of them always pan out that way, right? We had a nice little break down to here at 840. Then we got a nice little push up over here. Now they're trying to use the sell side liquidity that brought us down here. They're using it almost like a catalyst to get this back up there. We're getting a histogram divergence right here on the 5-minute, even though the 15-minute did give us a range. It did not hold the south side. It really did not. So a nice little 5-minute break. They use that support and then they reverse the position, even though we have a def cross. So I got volume weighted. My VWAP is around 387. So I'm going to think that they're going to try to get up into that area. And that's probably where they're going to want to like attempt to short it. Let's call it 387. It's very interesting. Let me see what a 1 hour. 1 hour is in the lower register, but it is showing bearish here. 2 hour crossed on the MACD. 2 hour fair value gap almost filled. So I think we left something there. Let's see what it does when it gets above 387. If it can. Let me close out these options because I'm not going to execute those contracts. Let's get that out the way until this thing makes a decision. Almost to the VWAP. 387 is where my VWAP is sitting, and it slightly went a little lower, so we're talking about 386.75. It's still inside of the box. Don't like it for that trade. Let's see what the dollar is doing. The dollar is recovering. Gold is still pushing. All right, that's that fair value gap on the 15-minute that we're back under again. Got my alert for Tesla. Tesla probably gonna do a little bit of a retracement. That's probably gonna power up NQ in that regard. The 5 minute gave a nice little rejection here. Let's see where they get some weakness here. Maybe we'll scalp something to the downside. But I really want to see it touch 386. Let me see, where is it now? 386.50. All right, there goes the VWAP. Boom. That's the one. Almost looked like it was going to reject that, but now they're trying to get through the VWAP. Rejected the VWAP, rejected it at 800. And struggling to hold that downside. So this is going to be that bullish range in itself. So we may flip to being bullish above here if we can get a 5 minute to close above. Now, this was my debate from the last time. Remember when we took a trade last week? I could have had like 144 ticks on the downside if I just took the momentum instead of waiting for the close. So that's been a big debate on how I want to handle these opening range breakouts. But I don't know, just been interesting and very interesting. Oh, let me get rid of P&L so that way you can just see only my camera. I was actually shorting it just now as it was rejecting the VWAP in itself, and it almost curled like it was going to continue to the upside. Yeah, they're trying to get the they're trying to get the top of the open range breakout. I just gave it 2 shots inside of the range, looking like a range rejection, and they're making it really, really tough. Like it's like the buy side liquidity is not giving up, even though we're getting a little bit of a curl on some of these lower time frames. I'm down 6 ticks. I'll tap out if I'm down 15. There we go. I'm out. So yeah, so they're really are trying to break out that top, even though we're at this area, tough resistance here. And now let me see, where am I at? Because they're making this really rough. 1K. Alright, I guess we're gonna make it up on the buy side. You're not gonna give me a close above, are you? Because we got a new 5-minute candle here. We're gonna get a momentum play. Oh. Oof, 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 oof. Ah. It rejected that 50 EMA and the 50% of the fair value gap hard. That's a tough one. And that's why I like candle closes. When the candle closes, it usually gives us a good momentum. It looks like they're just going to range up and down past the open and range breakouts. Look at how much liquidity it just grabbed like that. Very rangy. I think I'm going back to the sell side of it. We're probably going to get pushed down, then it's going to push right back up. But that last hit beat me up really bad. We down, folks. We are down a lot. Ugh. Rough one. Rough one. I'm going to stick with it. All right, refill the kick. Make sure I do this right. Let me go check here and make sure I don't do anything crazy. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Just trying to see what my drawdown is. What up, Neo? Man, they're not letting this opening range breakout break out.
You done?
I'm not done. No.
Oh.
So we got above the VWAP. Now we're back at it again. Hey, what up, Tony? Good morning, my neighbor. Five-minute is almost breaking above. Now it started a new 5-minute. Back to the debate. Now it's a new 5 minute. Do I take the momentum or do I wait for the candle to close? We got all the usual suspects here. Ah. That was the second shot. That's the 400 level. I was looking for a deeper red before I actually tried to get into that one. We're in the fair value gap. Can we get this out? Keeping the momentum. We're staying bullish. All right, I'll grab that as soon as I'm done with this trade. I think that's micro vision, right? Come on, let's get this fair value gap up at 425. Oh, nope, did not get into fair value gap. Rejected at the 200. All right, I'll check out your microvision in a bit. This thing is doing a lot of freaking dancing. We got 2 minutes. Let me see what he got in microvision. MIVS. He likes this higher time. Whoa, it's $1 stock. Are we doing these lower time frame stocks? That's what we doing, Tony? $1.19. You must be looking at something longer. It can't be short. Looks like a W. So to $1.62. Maybe something like that. Uh-oh. Come on, Tony. What you got for us? I want to see what it makes sense, because that's what it looks like to me. It's got to pull back right now though. $12. Ooh. Well, that 842 is gonna make things interesting. Yeah, I don't see $12. You're gonna have to explain that to me. $12 brings it back to like 2021 levels. Are we going 2021 on this? $8 to $12. Okay, I got you. That I would lean more on the 8, but yeah, that's not right now, Papa. I'm in the middle of something. I would say, yeah, give it some momentum. It probably Probably a little bit of pullback, find support. I don't know, Tony. You're gonna have to show me more on this. You have to show me a lot more on this one. I don't know how I feel about that one. That's a long investment and hold. All right, so NQ is trying to get above that block. Looks like it's having a hard time. If it could get into here, that will make things so much more interesting, and we're so close to it. I almost feel like they came back to the 50% just to go ahead and reload so they can get the rest. Mm. Nope. Turned it into a hammer and pushed all the way back down. Yeah, so like I said, these opening range breakouts, like I said, this one is very, very, very tricky out of all of them. Like, we had a nice little move to the upside. They rejected at the 200, rejected it twice at the 200. Now it looks like a tweezer top. And then let's look at the fact, that down here in this base, this was kind of like that recovery for it, and they played it down, and we got ourselves a histogram bearish bullish divergence, and it played all the way up, but looks like it's not going to do the up range breakout. So deep consolidation. It's kind of like getting a little crazy in there. There was no real trade. If you did play this, you probably did a small loss, or you probably hit your daily drawback. That said, not a really great day. We had a better day yesterday. Had to wait a long time yesterday, but a lot better day yesterday. Anyways, that said, I am going to go ahead and leave y'all for the rest of the day. Tony, you're gonna have to. I gotta see what this micro. I don't see it. Micro. I got some type of micro vision that you're seeing, but I don't know. Hold on, you got me thinking about this one again. No, I don't know. It's rounded bottom, but it did something just like this, and it came back down a little bit lower. I don't know. You have to tell me. I'm curious your thoughts. That said, we will talk again. See y'all next week on Tuesday for the trading floor. The other part is mindset. Don't forget, Saturday, 10 o'clock, mindset. I posted on Instagram. I posted at various communities. If you want the link, you can DM me. Don't forget to follow me. And have a great day.